I never thought I could be picked up, but then this man, he picked me up like I was nothing, and he threw me in a freezer.
This is why you don't sign your life away to go into a haunted house.
What do you do? Hi, guys. Welcome back to It Takes Two. I'm Quinlan,
And I'm Emily.
and today we're doing another little Halloween spooky episode. We're gonna talk about some Halloween experiences, just some spooky, scary stuff that, that we've done in the month of October.
Before we get into everything today, don't forget to check out our socials, linked down in the description box below.
So I've always liked Halloween, scary movies, that type of thing, dressing up in costume. But I want to talk about the first haunted house that I ever went to, okay?
Quinlan's a little obsessed with haunted houses, if you didn't know.
Oh, I will get into it, but I figure we'll start with the first one that really started my obsession with haunted houses, okay? I was 11 or 12. Me and my best friend at the time, her mom bought us tickets to this haunted house. It's supposed to be like one of the scariest haunted houses in Oregon. Mind you, a normal one, okay? Not one where you like sign a contract or anything, blah blah blah. I'll get into those ones later. But for
She's got some
now,
stories.
for my first one, it was just ranked one of the scariest haunted houses, like top 10 in Oregon or something. Nothing crazy. But I was 11 or 12. I think I was in 6th grade. My friend had an older sister who just drove us there and dropped us off. And I'm telling you, we're in the middle of like Beaverton, which isn't too crazy, but for an 11-year-old to be left alone, yeah, it was it was a little something.
And like an hour and a half from your house.
Oh yeah, like no parents, no nothing, nobody was near. Like it was literally just me and my best friend at 11, just dropped off at a haunted house. And like weirdos come out at those types of things. But, I survived, okay? I have been searching for the feeling, the adrenaline rush that I got at that haunted house since that day. I think it was probably because it was my first haunted house that it really got me like scared, but have not felt that scared in a long time. It wasn't even like I remember the name. It was called the 13th Door, and it was a big maze, and there was just doors everywhere. But other than that, I really can't tell you much about it other than I was way too young to be left alone, and it scared the crap out of me.
See, this is where we're different people. I've been to one haunted house in my entire life, and it was put on by our college in the basement of our dorm. And you know what? I was still scared enough that I was holding onto the back of Quinlan's shirt, just running through this haunted house behind her, and she was just like jumping back at the actors.
I think that's what makes it more fun. It wasn't as fun as like, okay, recently I just went to one, and before we got in there, we knew it wasn't going to be very scary. Pacey was like, I dare you to start booing back at people. And so, like, that's just kind of what I do. Like, I don't get as scared anymore. Sadly, I wish I did still get that, like, adrenaline and scared when I go into these things. But I like going with people who don't do them often because I think that makes it more enjoyable. Like, going with you versus going with my sister who doesn't do it very often either. It makes it more enjoyable for me to see other people get scared and having fun.
See, I don't even know why I get so scared in them, because they literally tell you that none of them can touch you or grab you or anything like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I was even that scared in like the Walking Dead walkthrough at Universal Studios,
That
okay?
was cool. I loved that actually.
It was cool, but there was just like a deadly fear in the back of my head. We were in the very back of the line, and I was like,
Oh
they're gonna
yeah.
get me. And that's coming from someone who actually does like zombie effects makeup and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So I don't know what that trigger is in my brain, because I also love horror movies, and jump scares don't really bother me.
But
So where's the line of like, because they're real people, I'm absolutely terrified.
yeah, I really, that line is something that a lot of people I struggle with. And I think I was never scared. I mean, I'll take that back. I've been scared of haunted houses, but not so much anymore until I went to the full contact one for the first time and the second time. That scared the crap out of me. You know, going in, they're going to touch you.
I couldn't.
Some of them touch you, some of them don't. And I think that's when it started to scare me the most, was because you don't know who's going to touch you or not. And they touch you, they will.
I've seen you come back from these, and you're just like
Mm-hmm.
covered in fake blood. And one time they like tore up your jacket too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. So I've been picked up. I've been shoved in boxes, in coffins, in freezers. I'm a big girl, and somehow they have big dudes that just pick me up like I literally wear nothing. And they'd shove me in a freezer, shove me in a coffin, you know, lock you in there, and you're stuck there for you don't know when. You don't know who's coming to get you, what's gonna happen. Sometimes there's a trap door that falls out and you fall out the other side.
Why do you do this again?
It's so much fun. I just and then like you end up in this dark hallway, there's nobody around, you're separated from your group 100%.
These are literal nightmares.
And yeah, one time my coat got ripped because I went into this little box that they like were shoving. Oh my gosh, they shoved me and Pacey in a box one time. This is the same time. Shoved us down in this box. Like it was a top. Like you had to like down in the box, okay? And it shredded my jacket because there was exposed nails in the in the box. And I
Ah!
had just bought a brand new raincoat and it shredded the back of it. Like I had to return it and get a new one. It was fun. I'm really sad because they closed because of COVID, obviously. And for a while, it just said temporarily closed on their website. But now it says permanently closed. So I don't think I'll ever get to do it again. At least not that one.
Didn't you get chainsaw burns once from there? I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, I totally did get chainsaw burns. I was wearing leggings or something, and chainsaw, no blade, obviously, but they would still touch you with it to scare you with it, you know? I've been to haunted houses where they turn the chainsaw on in front of you, but then they just wave it around like a maniac. But this one, like, they chased you with it and were gonna stab you with it. Total, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre type of stuff. And he went right between my legs, like, with the chainsaw to go, like, up, like a full cut. And it didn't rip my leggings, but it, like, shredded my skin through it, like, burned my skin, singed it through my pants.
I don't know. Personally, it doesn't sound too disappointing that they closed, but you love that, so.
Oh yeah, I went so many times. I could talk about it for days. Like
You tried
I
to
had
take me when we moved in together, and I was like, I think I'm okay.
so I went with my sister and a bunch of friends one time. We all made it through, and my sister's younger, so went through with a bunch of younger people. I was the oldest. I was like 16.
Don't you have to be 16 to even get in?
Yeah. So I bought all the underage kids tickets and we all went through. And mind you, like, it's a safety thing because they like pick you up, carry you around, blah blah blah. It's not just like it's scary. It's like they cuss at you.
It's not like an R-rated movie. It's like you get abused.
One time we were in this tunnel. It was like fenced tunnel, like so we were fenced in even on the top. And they had people grabbing us from the fence like above us and pulling us up towards the ceiling, like by our
Ugh.
hands. They just grab you and lift you up, pull your hair up, try to pull you up into the. So it was just, it's a safety thing, but yeah, I went with a bunch of underage kids that weren't allowed to go in there. That was a lot of fun. Nobody chickened out. And then one time I went with Pacey and a friend and Pacey's brother, and my friend chickened out, like not even a third of the way through it, quarter of the way through it, and so they had to sit and wait in the car. And this is a long haunted house. You have to wait in line for a long, long time to get in because a lot of people want to do it. You have to sign waivers and all of that, so that takes some more time. And then they try to do like 4 or 5 different themes in the haunted house. So then you're also walking through multiple different areas, trailers, warehouses. Like you're walking through tons of stuff, like tons of area covered. And so yeah, they had to sit in car the whole time because they couldn't make it through.
That would be me.
Just recently at the haunted house that I went to, a week and a half ago. So they have emergency exits in haunted houses because at any point, if you're done, you're done. Obviously, like if you want to get out, they're gonna make it so you can get out. You're not gonna have to finish the haunted house. And this goes for all, not just the full contact one. Any haunted house, they have extra exits so that you can get out when you're done, type of thing. I kid you not, this girl made it around 2 corners and came out the exit screaming and crying. And I felt so bad. I was like, is that scary? And because I was in line and I watched her run out. And then I get in there and I don't want to belittle her feelings or anything, but I swear the haunted house was empty. It was missing at least half the scare actors that they needed. Like, it was empty. Every other room, there was nobody in it to scare you, and you would expect a person to be in every single room to scare you. That's like the whole point.
Yeah, because that's what makes them scary, is the real people in it, not just, oh, a spooky themed room.
There's hands hanging from the ceiling. Like,
See, like, that wouldn't bother me. It's the people that scare me.
yeah, and so, like, there wasn't any, half the people were gone. Like, I think it would be cool to do it. I want to try it one time, like, be a scare person. I don't know how scary I could be, but I think it would be a lot of fun.
Well, it depends on the haunted house, because Anna worked at one last year, I think it was.
Uh-huh.
So she was in a porcelain doll section. So they were broken, like, porcelain dolls. And they had her in a, like, full face mask and stuff. So, like, that alone, you're already, like, scary enough looking, I feel like. So it doesn't take much to be scary in that environment.
Yeah. I guess, yeah, your costume definitely plays a big role in it. I have fun messing with the actors, so I can imagine it would be fun messing with the people going through it. They always try to scare me, and I'm just like, hey man, you need a mint. I was like, you're trying to scare me, not like burn my nose off. Like, I get being scary, but your breath doesn't have to smell.
I like that you heckle them.
I do. I don't touch them because that's, not, you're not supposed to, blah, blah, blah. I just like, you're gonna try to scare me, but it's not gonna work. So I'll make it at least enjoyable for the both of us.
That's funny. I bet they probably appreciate that to a degree because they're like, oh, all these people running and screaming sometimes, so it
They
adds a
scream
little
in my
flavor.
face. Yeah. Like, I kid you, like, last time I went in there, the first person that jumped out and scared me, I was just like, boo. Like, they tried to scare me, I scared them back. I was like, hey, this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna try to scare you.
I used to have this neighbor. I don't think they live there anymore, but they'd always set up these like giant spooky figurines. So it'd be like the Wolf Man and this and
Mm-hmm.
that. But then always one or two of them were the guys that lived there, just dressed up
Ooh.
in full costume, but they'd
Yeah.
rotate out throughout the night so that
Mm.
different people would jump out. And sometimes they felt so bad because they'd make these little kids just run away crying. But it was actually kind of fun. Like, I hated it, and I hated walking up there just because we've established haunted houses. Honestly, dark rides too. I hate animatronics, so there's just something with that uncanny valley thing that is not my friend.
Yeah.
But it was so fun to like watch people get spooked by them and like run
Mm-hmm.
away. That was one of my favorite things for Halloween.
Yeah, I've seen people do that, or where they like sit on the porch pretending to be like a scarecrow handing out candy, and then when somebody grabs the bowl, they like right on their face.
It's so fun to watch, but I hate when it happens to me. Not that it happens anymore because I'm an adult, but
You could totally pass as a kid. I think you put on like a Spider-Man costume where you have like a full mask, and they would have zero idea.
I don't even need to do that. Just put my hair in pigtails and I look like I'm 15.
I think it would be funnier though if you were like dressed as Spider-Man, but
Did I tell you I got called 13 the other day?
no. 13?
When I took my mom for surgery, they were like, "Oh, and how old are you, sweetheart?" Like, to see if I was old enough to wait in the waiting room by myself, and I was like, 22? And she was like, "Oh, you just look young." And I was like, "You could have just like left off the sweetheart and made me, if I was a child, feel like, oh, she thinks I'm older, not she thinks I'm 13."
Yeah, she should have just been like, hey, how old are you?
Not, how old are you, sweetheart? It's the sweetheart for me.
Exactly. I think that's so weird. I had the opposite problem growing up. Everyone always thought I was way too old. I'd be like 12, and they're like, you want to sit at the bar with your mom? I'm like, no. They would try to serve me drinks at like medieval times.
I want to go there.
You've never been?
No, but there's one like an hour from here, and I really want to go.
I've been, I think, twice. I loved it. It was crazy. I was so young when I went, but I had fun.
Well, we should go one time when we're both in the same state.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Not this time, but another time.
Another time. We were talking about the porch people sitting scaring. When those types of things would happen, when I'd be trick or treating, I went with like a group of friends. Some random neighborhoods would do haunted houses, like just on their front porch type of thing when I'd go trick or treating. And those ones scared me more than any haunted house.
To be fair, it's unpredictable and random strangers.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's why it scared me so much, I think. Because when you're going to the big ones where you have to buy tickets and all of that, like, these people are like contracted, obligated, like, they sign and they're paid not to touch you, but these other things, who knows what's going on.
it's not
So,
Crazy Jim down the street.
yeah, like, that's, those scared me. I'd be freaked out to go in those.
Yeah, no, I'd be scared I'd get kidnapped.
Yeah, I only went a couple times. And it was like when I was like older too, like in high school, because I was too afraid to go when I was younger. I was like,
I hope you had
something's
the
gonna.
Chucky knife with you at that point.
Oh, I totally did. Yeah, that was high school. That was, I want to say, my sophomore year that I was Chucky, and I'm pretty sure that's when we went. Because, like, we were old enough to still want to dress up and do stuff, but not trick or treat. So we just kind of hung out at a friend's house, and then his house was near the haunted houses. But yeah, I was Chucky that year. I held that knife. I was like, come at me, I swear. This is a real knife.
As you should. I miss Halloween in high school. I always had these kind of big Halloween parties. Obviously, it wasn't a big party. We're a small group kind of people. But there was probably like 15 of us that would just hang out at my house. We'd have Halloween themed snacks. We'd all dress up and have costumes. It was a
Yeah.
good time.
Yeah, we did that a couple years. My junior year was probably the biggest one that we ever did. It was when I was in the Alice in Wonderland costume. So
Yeah.
there, that right there is like 8 people. But at that same time, my mom was like, I'd prefer if you guys all hung out here rather than, going to different parties. So at this time, I'm a junior in high school. My brother is a sophomore in high school, and my sister is a freshman. We invited all of our friends, and I kid you not, like, our house was just like packed with the most randomest, craziest people. My brother's like on the football team. A bunch of random football people like came. A bunch of my friends, my sister's friends, like, there was just this like big party going on.
You had a blowout that year.
Yeah, and it was just like literally like, I mean, it wasn't like crazy, but there was way more people than I ever would have thought would have been there, because we were watching movies and playing music and stuff. Like, it wasn't like we were doing anything crazy.
And your house
But
isn't like huge, so that must have been
no.
packed.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. A lot of fun though. Once the itch for other things started happening, illegal things, the party started to die because everybody started to leave to go find those parties. They were like, "Yeah, it's fine," and then like after a while, they're like, "Peace out. We're gonna go find a real party."
Nice.
But it was fun. I still had fun.
See, that's why I miss those parties. Because, like, there's just nothing to really do as an adult, I feel like.
Yeah.
We don't have large enough groups of friends to host a party like that.
No. I liked our Halloween party when we watched Hell House.
That was fun.
Had that lady not drinking all of my alcohol, and then her boyfriend tried to fight us. I think it would have been a great party.
You know what? At least it was an interesting party.
Yeah, it was a story for sure.
Yeah, because, like, the four of us were just sitting on the couch and watching the movie, like, what is going on?
Yeah, I went to go make a second drink and my bottle was empty. I was like, honey.
She just had a full glass of it.
I was like, you were just chugging my booze? It's not yours. Like, this is a bring your own party. She drank it all. I was like, what?
There was a lot that went wrong with them, but it's fine.
Another thing I just thought about, me and Pacey were talking about the other day, were the olive oil shots. Do you remember that?
I
That was
forgot
that same
about
night,
that.
wasn't it?
Because it was the same guy.
Yeah, it was the same guy, huh? And everybody was doing shots of olive oil.
I know, because we walked over to the kitchen and we're like, what are you guys doing? They're like, taking shots of olive oil?
You were pissed because you're like, that's my good olive oil.
It
And
was.
you guys drank it all.
They weren't even using the cheap one. They were using the expensive one. That's how you know I'm Italian. I was like, it's my good olive oil.
I was just like, how? Like,
I blocked out that memory.
I PC brought it up the other day and I literally was just dying. I was like, I totally forgot about the shots of olive oil.
That was such a weird night.
How can you stomach that?
Here's the better question. Why?
What does it do for you?
Like, have you ever just put olive oil on pasta? If you don't cook it, it tastes bad.
Yeah.
Like, if you take a little bit of olive oil, like, tasting olive oils, you can, like, sip a little bit, but not a full shot of olive oil.
What are the benefits? I gotta know.
There was
Like,
so much wrong with that guy and his girlfriend.
why was everybody drinking olive oil?
Why was there olive oil shots? Why were they barking like dogs? I don't know.
That night was something else. I mean, something was going on with those people.
I know. And that's why there's only 3 of us that still hang out.
Yeah, because that was weird.
I forgot that even happened. I have no words. I didn't have words then other than why are you using my expensive olive oil?
Yeah.
Because wasn't it my garlic one? They were taking shots of garlic olive oil.
Yes, 100% that's what was going down.
Because that's why it was the expensive one, because it was infused.
Yes.
That still makes me angry to think about.
You're like, I paid for that.
Yeah, it was like a special edition infusion of garlic olive oil.
Getting heated over the garlic.
I was pissed.
Yes, sorry to resurface some hard feelings here.
It's okay. That person just makes me angry in general. So
Yeah. As it should.
I should have just, like, taken him down. I could have. He wasn't a large man.
No.
I really wish Pacey would have fought him. That would have been funny.
It would have, except for your landlord being next door watching it all go down. That wouldn't have been good for him.
That's fair.
So, what originally brought up the olive oil shots, me and Pacey had seen a TikTok of somebody doing an interview at BYU about whether or not
I saw this.
they would rather drink a cup of cooking oil or a cup of coffee, and like 90% of them said they would rather drink a cup of cooking oil.
I saw that. I was like, I don't think you understand.
So I was like, I couldn't imagine, like, a cup of cooking oil would be a lot. And then Pacey's like, what about when they were taking shots of it at Emily's? And I was like, oh, I forgot about that, you know? So that's what originally like made us think about that. I just couldn't see somebody drinking it. And then I was like, oh, wait, I actually have seen somebody take shots of it, multiple shots of oil. So
I'm just still at a loss for words.
if they would have fought in the yard, they would have wrecked our gravestones.
That would have been so disappointing. I actually just had to get rid of those when I moved, and I'm so sad.
That was the longest DIY I have ever done. It took forever.
The fact that we actually didn't start any fires either was kind of impressive.
I was extremely impressed.
We got pretty close, but we were fine.
So basically, we had some styrofoam and we traced out a couple gravestones, like what you bought a couple off Amazon, right?
Yeah, I bought like a pack of 4 off Amazon, but they were so expensive, so I was like, let's just DIY the rest. Because I got permission from my landlord to like fill our yard with gravestones.
And you had a big front yard, so we were like, let's do this. And so we essentially traced the original 4 gravestones onto some styrofoam to make more. And then we had to cut it, which also made a mess because styrofoam is flaky. But then we had to burn the edges for some reason so they wouldn't continue to flake.
Oh, yeah, I guess because we didn't want them to flake, and then we wanted that rough, distressed look on them. Styrofoam melts really easy, so it was pretty fun.
We ran through so many lighters though.
Yeah, there probably was a more efficient way, like we could have got like a little torch thing or something, but we were using candle lighters. So just like the little stick barbecue lighter.
So yeah, we were like burning it and then we tried to do like grooves on the front and it was just like we were just sitting on the living room floor just playing with fire essentially.
Yeah, it's really impressive we didn't actually start a fire. There was a couple times the styrofoam actually caught. We were trying to like blow it out, but we didn't even set
Like,
off a smoke alarm.
no. We just looked kind of crazy for. And then what, we end up with 8 gravestones?
We made 8. So I had
Oh,
like
we made 8?
12 in
Okay.
the front yard. Yeah.
Okay, that's more than I thought. But it still looked very minimal for how big your yard was and how tiny the gravestones were.
Yeah, they were like a foot tall. They were not big at all.
No. Where did we get all that styrofoam?
Dude, I have absolutely no idea. But that was
These
the
are the
same
questions.
that was the same Halloween too. That we put that weird metal sculpture in my front yard and covered it in spider webs to look like a person.
I still have that.
You do?
It was like we couldn't build it. Remember, we couldn't figure out which pieces
I don't think
went
we had all the
where.
pieces to it. I don't think Pacey had them all.
I don't think so either. I think we still have it though. I think it's in my Halloween tote of decorations. I think we were missing pieces for sure.
Yeah, I think it doesn't have legs or something.
Something was off. But yeah, we covered that weird thing in fake spider webs.
Dude, I'm so sad I had to get rid of those gravestones. But they got all gross because my garage flooded. And so then they got
Ooh,
all
yeah.
moldy. So I had to just
Ugh.
throw them out because obviously styrofoam's a little porous.
I bet it would have looked more realistic. some mold on the gravestones.
Also, I kind of live in an apartment now, so I don't know where I'd put them.
I should put one in my front yard and write, if you touch my cat, this will be you.
Yes, maybe then they'll stop stealing your cat.
Yeah. I'm trying to scare these kids away. I'm gonna do it on Halloween. I'm gonna scare them all. It's gonna be my goal. But no, I really am lacking on the outside Halloween decorations. I've got a lot of pumpkin stuff inside. I've only decorated my door.
I've barely decorated at all so far this year. Just my TV stand in my bedroom. And then I put up those little witch leg things I have. on our like cupboard door, but I'm waiting on some other Halloween stuff to come in still, so I haven't really decorated much.
Yeah, I need some more outside stuff so I can scare away the children, make them think I'm crazy or something.
I think your neighbor does that enough.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's time for me to go buy some Halloween decorations.
I think I'm gonna go take a shot of olive oil and see where that takes me.
Well, you have fun with that, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out, Cub Scout.